I'm Della Cruz. Today we're featuring members of the Kootz band from all points of New Jersey. Glenn Taylor of North Caldwell is the co-founding member, lead guitarist, keyboardist, and vocalist, man who wears many hats. Chris Bolger of Roseland is also a co-founding member, sings lead vocals and plays guitar. He's sitting there on the end. And Joe Alexander in the middle of Linden also plays guitar and sings lead vocals. And gentlemen, it's good to be chatting with you all. Your music is fabulous.
Well, thank you, Della.
That must have been so cool to have all of you on the same stage in those pictures at once. What was that like?
Well, it had been 9 years in the making, and there were guys in the band that literally had never shared the stage with other fellows in the band. And after we put our most recent live CD together where all the band members were featured, I just thought, wouldn't this be great if we could all stand in the same room at one time playing the same songs, and it was wonderful to finally get to do that after such a long time.
Now, Joseph, I see you holding up the CD. Go ahead so everyone can see it. Kootleg. Where'd you get that name, Kootleg? Of course, we know Kootz, the band, and leg.
Well, like bootleg, because that's kind of the feel of it. It's a very live, it's a contrast to our other CD. Joe, you can hold the Endless Bus Tour of New Jersey, which is more of our sensitive artist, original kind of music.
Studio record.
Studio record, yeah. And Kootleg is more like the rough, raw side of the Kootz. So I figured bootleg, Kootleg kind of works, and you can see the packaging is very different for both. One's a little tougher, one's a little smoother.
You two have a bit of history here, don't you, Chris?
Yes.
And Joe,
Yes,
tell us about that.
The first time that I met Joe, I was playing in a real hard rock kind of metal-esque band, and at the end of the night, I made a beeline to a place that was open until 3 in the morning. Joe was playing with his friend Tommy, and they were doing "Where Have All the Flowers Gone" when I walked in the door.
Right. It's very different.
That's kind of rock and roll with fiber, huh?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And then what happened with this group is that having known Chris, they got together, and Chris called me up one night and asked if I'd be available to fill in if one of the guys was sick or something like that. And I filled in one night, and shortly after that, Glenn said, well, why don't I just book you now and then? And I think that was kind of the genesis of the many-member notion to the group.
Well, you have to realize that when Chris came to me on a wintry day in the winter of 2001 and said, do you want to form a band? Because we were kind of all in situations, there were other bands, we weren't really that happy, and he wanted to pull me out of my doldrums and say, listen, he played me some of his originals actually, which was very impressive, and I just said to him, as I always say when people ask, I said, Chris, if you get me involved in a band, you might be sorry because I have a knack for getting us booked. And I think last year we did about 245 shows in 1 year. And that was, as Joe said, the genesis of needing to have multiple members to cover a lot of the shows.
Where do you typically perform?
Well, all over, really. We perform as far north as Rockland County and all the way down as far as Long Beach Island. So a wide variety of locations, restaurants, bars. In the summer we do a lot of town concert series from various towns,
street fairs.
Mostly northern or central New Jersey.
I see Chris and Ron wrote a lot of your original music. So does everybody contribute from time to time like that?
Well, I'd say particularly on the first CD, on the Endless Bus Tour, Chris Bolger had a number, I think 4 original tunes. We also did some select cover songs by other artists. We even had a cameo from Tommy James, who's a New Jersey resident, and he let us cover one of his songs and actually was a guest star on it, Sweet Cherry Wine. And that was the first time that all of the Kootz were together on a recorded endeavor, because they were all in the studio, but at different times.
In fairness to Chris and Ron, they're not represented really on the first record because they joined later on.
Right.
Assuming that there is going to be a second studio album.
There will be.
I'm sure they'll be more represented on that.
Sure,
because you heard their songs, they're wonderful.
Ron has only been a member for a year, and we have a lot of other writing talent in the band that we're ready for another original CD with all the guys that write and with the talent they have.
You all call yourselves a small rock and roll corporation, of course, a rock and roll band with fiber. I love that mantra. Where'd that come from?
He doesn't like that, but I always thought it was a bit of a self-deprecating, poking fun at ourselves, because obviously we're not spring chickens, but I think...
Excuse me, you're defying age very well, thank you.
I spoke for ourselves.
Well, thank you.
But I guess I guess that's our way of saying that, you know, we may be our packaging may be a little older, but our spirit is still that of 18-year-olds.
Oh, I like the way you put that.
The best thing about I mean, for anybody that's around our age that's still playing music, you're not doing it because you have any grand illusions anymore. You know,
Yeah, but
now
look at the Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger. These people aren't young.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the fact is, if you haven't established yourself in your 20s, probably you're more likely you're not ever going to go for the big brass ring. But that doesn't mean
Excuse
that
me,
you should.
Susan Boyle.
Well, there is an exception to every rule.
Every rule.
And the thing is, regardless of that, that's not why you get into it when you're a kid. When you get into it with a kid, it's like a guitar is like magic, and it's this wonderful thing, and you start playing it, and of course you have these grandiose ideas because kids always do. But when you get a chance to play, you know, in front of people with your friends, you know, whether it's on a nice stage like this or whether it's in some, you know, kind of a lowbrow bar, you know, it's magic. It's great being able to do that.
Well put. I like that, Chris, Joe, Glenn. Stay with us. We have one more song from the Kootz when we come back. You'll love it. Stay with us. We are back with more music from the Kootz. They're a Jersey baby boomer band from all over the Garden State. Right now, they're performing another original song. This one was written by band member Chris Roselle. It's called I Still Remember You.
It's like you, it is, I can't believe it. How many years have passed between us? Don't worry, I didn't forget your face. Smoothest skin, lines every place. The blackest hair, now lined with gray. But I remember you the same. I see you just like you were young, pretty and true. Time has made no difference. I still remember.